What is your name, please?
My name is Rita Wilson.
My name is Rita Wilson.
My name is Rita Wilson.
Only one of these young ladies is the real Rita Wilson. The other two are imposters and will try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Peggy Cass, Jean Rayburn, and Kitty Carlisle. On To Tell the Truth with your host, Bud Collyer.
Thank you very much. Welcome once again to Tell the Truth. Good evening, panel.
Hello there, Bob.
Everybody well?
Oh, I am.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Brought to you this evening by Winston Filter Cigarettes. All right, panel, open up that envelope there, if you will, please, and follow along with me as I read. I, Rita Wilson, am working my way through college in a most unusual way. I compete in beauty contests. I have entered more than 100 of them, and as a result have won over $10,000 in scholarships. Some of the titles I have held are Miss Okra, Miss Sweet Corn, and Miss Catfish. Just last month, I was also selected to be the International Banana Queen. In addition to the prize money, just about everything I own I've won. Over the years, I have accumulated such assorted prizes as 5 sets of luggage, 37 bathing suits, 40 pairs of shoes, 2 hi-fi sets, and a $7,000 wardrobe. As a result of one particular competition, I now own 36 pairs of contact lenses. Signed, Rita Wilson. These 3 lovely young ladies all claim to be Rita Wilson, who has been or is Miss Everything. We'll start the questioning with Tom Poston. Tom?
Thank you, Bud. Where are you from, number 2?
Fulton, Kentucky.
In Kentucky. Where are you from, number 3, may I ask?
Washington, D.C.
Thank you. Number 1, where are you from?
Delray Beach, Florida.
Number 1, what was the contest where you won all those lenses?
That was for the National Contact Lens people. You know, they had a optometrist.
Do you use them?
No, I don't. I really don't wear glasses. So I use them for cosmetic purposes, though, to change the color of my eyes, because I do have light eyes.
Oh.
So it enables me to change them.
Number 2, do you know when the first Mrs. America contest was held? Do you happen to remember?
Mrs. America, no, I don't. I'm sorry.
I met the first Mrs. America the other day on Missing Link, so I remember that. Number 3, tell me, do you use those lenses that you won?
Yes, I do. Yes.
You really do?
Uh-huh.
That's funny. Number 2, do you use them?
Yes, I do.
What's the matter with you, number 1? You get these prizes.
Peggy Cass.
Thank you. Number 1, how do you know where there are so many beauty contests? I didn't know there were so many beauty contests.
Well, actually, when you start entering beauty contests, you look in the newspapers and you find everyone's usually sponsoring some kind of beauty contest, and then your name becomes known, and they send you the applications to enter their beauty contest.
Oh, number 3, do you find yours through the newspapers, too?
Yes, I do, and through my sponsors.
Oh, you have sponsors?
Yes.
I'd look through the newspaper. I never noticed any beauty contest ads, but of course I'm not looking in that department, probably. And number 2, do you always wear a bathing suit? I mean, when you're in contest.
Not all the time.
Number 3, what else do you wear in contests?
A formal.
Formal. And number 1, do they measure you in the formals?
No, they don't.
Number 2, do they measure you when you wear bathing suits?
Sometimes.
Gene Rayburn.
Number 2, what size bathing suit is that you're wearing now?
This is a 12, but I actually wear a 10.
Mm-hmm. Number 2, how would you like to get in show business? Well,
I would love it.
Number 3, how tall are you?
5'5".
And when you were Miss Okra, what were some of the qualifications? You were Miss Okra, it says here on this
Yes,
piece of
that's
paper.
right.
Now, what were some of the qualifications? What did you have to fulfill in the eyes of the judges to become Miss Okra?
Swimsuit competition and formal. No talent was required.
I see. Number 1, in Some of the contests that you've been in, number one, how do they test you for poise and personality?
Well, actually, they have what they call an intellectual kind of panel, and you come up before a panel, and they ask you questions. They just shoot them at you.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 3, obviously, most of these contests were in the South, between Miss Catfish, Miss Sweet Corn. What did you win when you were Miss Catfish?
I won $350 in cash, a selected wardrobe, and a scholarship.
Number 2, what are you studying?
Acting, drama.
Number 3, when you wear a bathing suit, are you allowed any kind of padding?
No, you are not. Nothing artificial.
Nothing.
How about contact lenses? What's the color of your eyes there?
Number 1, would you like to enter the Miss America contest?
That's all the time we have. We'll have to find that out later if we do it all. But in any event, there is time for you now to mark your ballot. So please do that without consultation. Simply vote at once, without change, for number 1, number 2, or number 3. And our team of lovely challengers will receive $250 for every incorrect vote. Are all ballots marked, panel?
No.
Well, mark them. Very well, they are now. And Tom, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 3. I thought they were all really pretty, and they win this To Tell the Truth contest tonight, but I thought number 3 looked like she might be, take the matter a little more seriously, possibly, than the other two.
Peggy Cass.
Thank you. Well, I think they're all beautiful, but I voted for number 1 because she comes from Delray Beach, Florida. There's a lot of catfish and okra around there.
A lot of corn around here. Gene.
I'm insulted.
I voted for number 3.
Good reason, good
Yes.
thinking. I like that. Kitty.
I voted for number 2.
All alone.
I think they're all perfectly lovely, and I think they're all obviously beauty material, contest material. I had sort of mixed up.
And material beauty.
But I think it's number 2.
Very well, that spreads it as wide apart as it can be, I guess, with 2 for number 3, 1 for number 1, 1 for number 2. Let's go with that, shall we, and find out which one of these lovely, lovely young ladies is, in truth, as I called her, Miss Everything. Will the real Rita Wilson please stand up?
This is the first time I can be glad to say that I lost.
Well, and Kitty is equally glad to say that she won, because she was the one who did guess you. How much longer do you intend to continue doing this, competing?
Until I'm 28, I hope. That's the age
You're
limit.
18 now.
Oh, no, I'm a little past that. 23.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
Bless you. When do you expect to finish college?
This quarter. This is my last quarter.
Good girl.
Yes, and I'm very excited. It's been a long time.
Number 1, what is your real name and what do you really do?
My name is Martha Bradley, and I lease cars for Dial-A-Car rental systems.
Aha. Thank you. And number 3, what is your real name and what do you do? You got most votes.
My name is Shirley Trust, and I'm the secretary for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Oh,
You're more nervous now than you were before it all
all
started.
that money.
Well, in checking the score, you did extremely well. That's very true, and that should bring real smiles and real happiness to you, and we hope it does, because there were 3 incorrect at $250 each for a total of $750, ladies. Enjoy it, divide it, and thank you for being with us tonight. Goodbye, and God bless you. Right now, let's take time out for a brief film. Back in a minute. All right, panel, let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Robert Zimogne. My name is Robert Zimogne. My name is Robert Zimogne.
Panel, please follow along with this story, if you will. I, Robert Zimogne, have competed in 3 Olympic Games as coxswain for a rowing crew. In both 1948 and 1952, I represented my native Hungary. In 1956, I defected and eventually became an American citizen. During the 1964 Olympics, just concluded in Tokyo, I was a member of the Vesper Boat Club crew and was fortunate enough to steer our 8-oared shell to a gold medal for the United States. Signed, Robert Zimogne. And these three gentlemen, as you heard, all claim to be Robert Zimogne, Olympic gold medal winner. We'll start the cross-examination with Kitty Carlisle. Kitty?
Thank you, Bud. That's a very exciting story, and I'm proud to know whichever one of you it is. Number 3, how long was the course?
2,000 meters.
Thank you. Number 2, what does it mean to feather the oars?
As you turn the oars.
Thank you. Number 1, what is the largest weight of an oarsman in the crew? Can you tell me how?
Around 94, 96 kilograms.
I didn't hear.
About, was that 94?
96, 94 kilograms.
Kilogram. 94 and 96 kilograms. How many
200
pounds?
Thank you.
Tom Poston.
Thank you, Bud. You devils, you're... Two of them are going to lie. Number 3, how many heats are involved in the rowing competition?
This depends how many entries are.
Is that so? Number 1, who won the single sculls? The single competition.
Ivanov.
How many heats were involved in that particular race? Do you know number 1?
I guess 3.
How many in yours?
3.
3 also. Number 2 is...
Peggy Cat.
Number 2, where is the Vesper Boat Club? The club you row for. Where is it? What city?
Philadelphia.
Thank you. Number 3, what is the name of the river on which you row?
Squircle.
Thank you. Number 1, what was the name of the canal on which you won this race near Tokyo?
It was not a canal. This is a lake.
Thank you. Number 2, what time of day was it when you came in?
It was late at night.
Thank you. Number 3, who came in second?
Germany.
Thank you.
Gene Rayburn.
Number 3, do you remember when the last time a private club represented the United States in the 8-oar shell at the Olympics? What year that occurred?
It occurred in the last competition.
Prior to this one, I meant.
In Melbourne.
In Melbourne. What is the name, number 2, of the body of water that the race took place on?
Tobo.
Number 1, what is the name of a great single scull rower who's well known around Philadelphia and well known all over the world? Do you know that, number 2?
Sure.
I beg your pardon. Go ahead, number 1.
Kelly.
And that's all the time we have. It's time for you now to mark your ballots. So will you kindly do so at once, as you did before, without consultation? Simply vote. Quickly, swiftly, and accurately, of course, for the one you think it is. Vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. All ballots marked?
You voted? Yeah, I voted.
Very well. Tom, for whom did you vote this time?
I voted for number 1. Traditionally, I've always felt that coxswains were smaller people, and he seems to be a tiny bit smaller than the other two. Also, they all seem to know all the answers that I knew the questions for, so it was hard to tell. Kind of...
Peggy.
Well, number 1 looks more like a coxswain, but I voted for number 3 because when I watch the Olympic Games on television, they call that thing you rowed in a canal. It didn't look like a lake to me. It looked like a man-made canal.
Tell
so
him.
that's why I voted for 3.
That's it. Tell him. Gene Rayburn.
Well, this is a tough one. I wanted to vote for number 2 because I listened carefully to the way he pronounced Philadelphia. If you're not from that part of the world, as he obviously is not, it would be tough. I really was torn between number 1 and 2. If I were rowing in that boat, I'd want a skinny guy to pull along. So I voted for number 1. He seems to be the thinnest.
Kitty.
I voted for number 1 on the basis of size, too, but I'm not sure it's number 1 because I don't believe they can weigh 200 pounds, those fellas, do you think?
Yeah.
It seems like they can. Oh, well, I voted for number 1.
Be pretty husky. All right, there we have it with the votes all in and the minds clearly made up, as you heard. No equivocating whatsoever. We'll find out now which one of these gentlemen, in truth, is a Olympic gold medal winner with the team. Will the real Robert Zimogne, with his gold medal, please stand up? You may be seated. And our sincere congratulations. We're mighty proud of you, believe me.
Thank you very much.
Number 2, what is your real name and what do you really do?
My name is Alex Gross. I'm the Executive Vice President of Albee Homes Incorporated.
And number 3, what is your real name and what do you do, sir?
My name is Charles Reti, and I am art director of Lis Art Gallery in New York.
Checking the score, we find that the panel was smarter this time than they were the first time, and there was one incorrect vote, however, and that's worth $250 to you, gentlemen. And we thank you very much for sharing your evening with us and hope you enjoyed it, too. Good night, and God bless you. Incidentally, Mr. Zimogne is an amateur athlete, and as such, of course, he cannot accept prize money, and therefore he has requested that his winnings tonight be sent to the Vesper Boat Club in Philadelphia, and of course it shall be done. All right, panel, take a minute while we look at this brief film. Now let's meet our third team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Wesley Hoch.
My name is Wesley Hoch. My name is Wesley Hoch.
Panel, please follow along with this one. I, Wesley Hoch, am a lieutenant commander in the United States Navy. I have just returned from a rather unusual tour of duty in Vietnam. I was stationed on a remote island off the coast where my headquarters was a grass shack with a mud floor. In addition to my unofficial duties as doctor, dentist, and midwife, I had the job of official advisor to what is probably the strangest fleet in existence. 1,000 men manning 150 native junks, armed only with pistols, machine guns, and cutlasses. With this Navy, our mission was to protect 400 miles of exposed coastline from infiltration by the communist Viet Cong. Signed, Wesley Hoch. Very well, panel. 3 gentlemen this time, all claiming to be Wesley Hoch, advisor to the Vietnamese junk Navy. We'll start this questioning, if we may, with Gene Rayburn. Gene?
Thank you, Bud. Number 3, it says something on your shirt there. Would you pronounce that for me, please?
Yes, I would. This is in relation to our language means jump force, the junk force team that operates as we do in, of course, Vietnam.
I see. Number 1, yours says something different. What does that mean? You said Dai Ui, it looks like.
Dai Ui means lieutenant.
I see. Number 2, when you're converting from knots to miles per hour, what factor do you use?
What was that question? I'm sorry.
When you convert from knots to miles per hour, to statute miles per hour, what is a conversion factor?
I can't answer that.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 3, do you have previous medical training?
No, I don't.
Number 1, do you have medical training?
No, I don't.
Well, when you deliver a baby, how long does it take?
I didn't never actually deliver a baby. I was just stood by.
Uh-huh. Number 2, do you have dental training?
No.
Did you pull teeth?
I pulled him.
Oh. Number 3, can you tell me why these junks are only manned with such light artillery?
Well, we're very, very small boats by comparison with naval ships.
Thank you. Number 1, how fast can a junk go?
About 10 knots.
An hour.
10 miles an hour.
10 miles an hour. Number 2, do they have sails or motor or both?
Motor. All of them have motors. A few have sails.
Thank you.
Tom Poston.
I gather that none of these men had medical or dental training before they undertook this job. Is that the answer? Well, then, may I ask number 2 what your job in the regular Navy would amount to? What?
I was a line officer.
And number 3?
At the present time, I'm on a boat at Newport, Rhode Island, which is a destroyer, and I am the administrative officer.
No. What was your chief complaint, number 3, when you had sick call and so forth?
Well, of course, when we're on cruises, we do for 5, 6, 10 days at a time, we have all sorts of small problems, minor ones. And they're basically smaller conditions, not delivering babies as a general rule.
No. Number 1, what?
Thank you.
Peggy.
And number 2, were you the only Navy personnel on the island?
When I got there, yes.
And number 3, then did you have no sailors, you know?
No, not as such.
Thank you. Number 1, what does SATCOM mean?
Killed communist.
Oh, that's all right. But number 2, it says that you kept them from infiltrating.
That's right.
Well, what would they do? Come down from the north by boat and try to get past you?
That's right.
I see. Now, the 1,000 men that you had manning the 150 native junks, were they paid sailors of Vietnam, or were they volunteers, or what?
No, they were paid by the Vietnam government.
I see. And the idea was that number 3, that coming down from the north, they would just think it was a friendly junk. But you couldn't open fire on them. What did you do, stab them?
No, we boarded each and every one that we can find. And at that time, we asked for their papers.
I see.
And go
And
through
that's
the
all the time we have. So show your own papers to yourselves, but not to each other. Mark your ballots at once, if you will, please, panel. Again, without consultation. Simply vote without change for number 1, number 2, or number 3. All voting finished? All ballots marked? Very well. Tom, for whom?
I voted for number 1. I tell you, I was a little confused. I think I'd trust the other 2. Maybe not to pull my teeth and like that. But I trust them to keep the guerrillas from infiltrating. At least to be congratulated anyway. Must have been a tough job.
Peggy.
Well, I voted for number 3 because he sounded so kind of stalwart when he said, we searched each and every one. I felt he did.
Gene Rayburn.
Well, I voted for number 2. And in spite of the fact that he must have flunked math at Annapolis.
Kitty Carlisle.
Well, I voted for number 1. I hope it isn't number 2, because indeed he will be teased till the end of his life. But number 1 looks like the kind of a man to me who had enough initiative and strength of character to handle this most difficult job. And whoever it is, congratulations.
Well, very well. There we have a widely split vote this time. No ganging up at all. So let's see what that brings us as we learn now which one of these gentlemen, in truth, is the lieutenant commander of the Vietnamese junk navy and advisor to it. Will the real Lieutenant Commander Wesley Hoch please stand up? Tom and Kitty teamed up on that one. Number 2, what is your real name and what do you really do, sir?
My name is George Gillette, and I raise funds for colleges and universities.
And number 3, what is your real name and what do you do, sir?
My name is Ralph Stewart, and I'm the orchestra leader.
Ralph, I'm going to ask you to do us a favor while I ask our real Lieutenant Commander Wesley Hoch a question. Would you stand up for just a minute?
Yes, indeed.
Now, it's obvious that what you're wearing, Commander, is sort of a camouflage outfit. What is this black uniform?
That is the official uniform of the Vietnamese junk force, which we wore over there.
Let's see. Uh-huh.
It's a pair of black pajamas.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for standing up. Well, in checking the score, gentlemen, we find that there were 2 incorrect votes, and that's at $250 each. So that's a total of $500 you take along with you, as well as our sincere thanks for being with us tonight. And we, too, are proud of you, sir. Good night. God bless you. Now, a word about the protection of your floor. Well, you're a bright panel always. I mean, happy bright as much as anything else, and I thank you for that. Good night to you.
Good night, Bud.
Good night. Good night.
Good night for Winston. And don't forget to join us the same time next week. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon on the daytime show. In the meantime, don't you forget to tell the truth. Night.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.
Plan on a rip-roaring evening when Lucille Ball joins Danny in a British murder mystery on the...
Tell the Truth has been brought to you by Winston Filter Cigarettes. Winston tastes good like a cigarette should. This is Johnny Olson speaking. For To Tell the Truth, the program was pre-recorded.